improve more on this. Today's topic is only concentrated on it, how we can improve more and how we can enrich ourselves. So without taking much time, uh, I know for all of us, now it is not new. We have been accustomed to this new system, the new system of technology, from talk and board to laptop and mobiles, and only talking about online, how we can clip our videos, how we can give a presentation, how we can assess our students, how we should have a PTM, and so on. And I'm very proud of all the warriors of Jharkhand. They have excelled like anything. And I think this workshop must surely bring something new to us. Over to Akhil.
Thanks a lot, ma'am. We do hope that we offer you something very new. And thanks a lot, everyone, for taking time out. Last 2 months have been a lot of, you have worked a lot to get onto the technology platforms, take education from physical classrooms to online. So thanks a lot for taking time out. I'll ask my colleague Amina to take over and start the whole session.
Right, sure. Thank you, Akhil. Thank you, Urmila ma'am, for such a nice introduction. I think we can move on to our demonstration now. I would like to welcome all the principals and teachers who have joined us. I will introduce you to the platform first, and then we can move on to see how the demo of the platform is and what teachers can use to create assessments. I think that will be really useful to everyone present. So I will just start. Right. So our platform is Real Learning. Our URL is study.reallearning.in. What we are trying to do is to make sure that blended learning happens through our platform. What this simply means, what we're trying to do is that suppose schools start in a few weeks, in a few months, they are back with a few of their population. So then too our platform stays relevant and teachers can still use it. How they will do so, of course, we will have a look at it. We are a one-stop solution for online assessments of all kinds. This demo particularly will cover 4 things. The first thing we will cover is how teachers can take comprehensive test and exam formats, what security measures they can use to make sure that cheating and copying between students does not happen. The other assessment modules that teachers can use, other assessment modules, if I just have to give you an example, suppose you want to give holiday homework, group projects, discussion boards to students, that can also happen through our platform. Then last, but of course not the least, there are grading tools that teachers can use. When students will be sending in their submissions through our platform, teachers can check them online very efficiently. So this is also something that we will be covering. We are a most holistic application for conducting homework, tests, and exams online. I think now it is safe to move on to the platform and see how we actually make this possible. So I will show you our platform. We are study.reallearning.in. This is where teachers and students come onto the platform to log into their dashboards. I'm using a teacher's demo credentials right now. What we will first see is what a teacher's dashboard looks like. So I'm just signing in. All right, so I think someone's asking me to go a bit slow. I will, of course, take it in a much more slower pace. And this is a very detailed demo that we will be going through. So each and every feature I will be explaining to you. I will make sure that everything is properly communicated. We are at a teacher's dashboard right now. This is what the teachers will see. This is where teachers manage their courses. Suppose one teacher teaches 5 classes, so unki sari classes yahan pe in a list format will be listed down here. When they click on each of the class, they can enter it and perform certain actions. So we will see what they actually are. I am entering demo course DC 101. When a teacher enters any course, there are a few actions she can do from here. She can look at whatever is going on in her class and also share important updates and materials with students. But what I would like to show you first and foremost is our assignments dashboard. So for demo course, this is the teacher's assignment dashboard. What teachers get to see here is all of their assignments that they have created in the past. Homework, class test, quizzes, exams, whatever they have created or whatever they are in the process of creating, teachers will be able to see all of this here. So it is very organized and kept for teachers to make sure that every title of the assignment, suppose आपने class work assign किया था students को on May 26, so that will be listed down here with its due date, as in उसका submission किस दिन पे है, and whenever students will be sending in their submissions, everything will be listed down here for teachers for each of their assignments. So this makes it very easy for the teachers to just stay updated. They don't have to do any more hard work to know what is the status of my exam that I assigned to students 1 week ago, 1 month ago, anything of that format. Everything is absolutely visible here. Now, there are a few other things that the dashboard tells the teacher. Before we move on to seeing how teachers actually create an exam, let's see what all this dashboard is useful for. So you can see the status from here. Status would mean if the teacher has published the test, meaning students have started to attempting it, then that would appear as open. If students have sent in their submission, or if the deadline has passed, then that would show up as needs grading. If teachers have started giving marks to students, then that will show up as graded. How many they have graded, suppose किसी के class में 4 students है या 10 students हैं and all of them have submitted, and teachers have started checking also, then they will be able to see how many students have they checked so far. So again, this makes it very easy for teachers to manage their time when they are grading 5 assignments at once. There is the next status that we have here, which means unpublished. Teachers can always come back and edit the assignments they are creating on the dashboard. जो भी questions or documents or teachers are creating on the platform, it's completely editable. जब तक teachers students को publish नहीं करेंगे कोई भी test, teachers can always come back and review it. Till that point, जो draft है test का will show up as unpublished on the teacher's dashboard, so that they can keep reviewing it. So these are a few things that the dashboard shows to two participants are raising their hand. I would request you, if you have any questions, please put it on the chat, and then I think we can address it. Right. So just move on. The dashboard tells you the status of each exam, the available date, the submission deadline, what is the category of it, as in, is it a homework, is it a test, is it an exam, how many points, marks does it carry, and how many students have submitted it if it has been opened up to students. So these are just one of the few things that the dashboard tells the teachers. Now we'll go on to see how teachers create a test. I will click on this add button here. 3 categories will open up to me. Teachers have these 3 categories at their disposal to make sure whatever test they want to assign would just be category mein fall karta hai. They can just open up a format, create questions, and simply give it to students. There are a lot of formats that we have. First is the assignment format here. Through this assignment format, teachers can give projects to students, offline homework, offline submissions. If they want to give group projects, if they want to open up discussion boards to students, then this format really helps the teachers. There is the test quiz format, which is your regular, very easy to understand and also to publish test quiz format, which means that teachers will be setting questions for students. Students will be coming on the dashboard and attempting these questions and submitting their answers. Lastly, we have the import category here. Import simply means that suppose a few months ago you gave a homework or a test to students, and you created questions. You want to give it again to a new set of students, but you have it already on your dashboard. existing as a previously created assignment. By clicking on import, you can duplicate that assignment, so teachers don't have to make something from scratch. Agar unhone already kuch pehle banaya hua hai, they can simply duplicate it and give it to a new set of students. So that is again saves a lot of effort on the end of the teacher. We will just click on test quiz to see how that is created. Just give me a moment. I will check the chat. I think someone is okay. Sorry, there was not a question. So just to move ahead, we have clicked on how to create a test or a quiz. To start creating or a test or a quiz, teachers only need to do one thing, and they will be taken to the question creation screen. That is the only mandatory step, is to just put a title to that test. So I will just put any title here. Every other thing that you are seeing here, these are just boundaries that teachers can use to make sure students ko kuch bhi instructions dena hai, then teachers can write here. Suppose they want to let them know that this is a time bound test, I want you to attempt all questions or anything like that, something important that teachers want to tell students, then they can type here. Apart from that, there are few other things. What is the publishing date of that test? Apart from uh, how many questions students will see one in per page, all of that is defined from here. But I like to emphasize that this is not mandatory at this point. Teachers can simply put a title and get to creating. The other important things teachers can do when they're creating a test is to make sure that they want to open it up to the whole class or just to a few students. Suppose there is a remedial test जो टीचर सिर्फ 5 स्टूडेंट्स को देना चाहते हैं out of their 25 students in class, so they can create a group of 5 students, select that group from here, and this test will only show up to those 5 students. So teachers can also use this option. I will just put the whole class option here. That means every student will get to see this test. I have created my title. Now I will move on to creating it. So I will click on create. We will be taking to the question creation screen here, where teachers start to add the questions. So you can see that everything that we have put as details, test ka naam, it's whatever the time limit for it was and whatever its status is. Since we didn't define any of these things, it will show up to us as not defined or no or zero. But this edit button here helps teachers to edit the details of the test even in the middle of it. I would like to mute all the participants, so please give me a right. Okay, right. So just to revise, we created a test. We didn't create any of its other instructions. We've just created a title of it. And here, the teacher can just start adding questions by this simple one button here. Because I wanted to save your time, I have created a sample test already. So we will come back to our assignments dashboard, and we will look at that sample test and how many questions teachers can actually create and what all other things they can do from here. So this is that sample test. Its status says unpublished, meaning it is still in the process of being created. So I will just open that up. I have 4 questions created here. These are sample questions. Each of these questions are of a different category. So that will help you understand what all teachers can actually check from here. If you will look at the initial details of this test, then this is its title. I have created it for 125 marks. It could be anything. I can keep editing it. I have not published it. The time limit I have kept is 10 minutes. And everything else is here for me to edit, meaning when do I want students to see it, when do I put it as the submission deadline, all of that I can see from here. We have the first question in front of us right now, which is a free response question. Suppose you have a question where you want students to write or type an answer that is really long. You want to see what students interpret from it. So you will put this category, and students, when they receive this test, will be typing in their answers. We'll have a look at all the other categories that are here. We have 5 categories in total that teachers can make use of: multiple choice, multiple select, free response, true, false, and file upload sort of questions. All these 5 questions teachers can use to invite responses from students. What is really important here is that there are three categories of questions which are auto evaluated. Usually whenever there is a multiple choice question, true, false or multiple select, the answer is always one. There is only one correct answer. When the teacher defines that one correct answer when she's creating the question, the system can auto evaluate keeping that one correct answer in reference. But of course, we know that there are the other questions where teachers have to look at each student's answer and evaluate, such as free response and file upload questions. These teachers will be grading manually. How teachers do it is very efficient and easy, but we will be looking at that when we look at the grading section. So apart from these auto evaluated categories, we have free response and file upload question. So we are at a free response question right now. We have defined that it will be for 35 marks. This is the question text. I want to ask students, what is the story of Macbeth about? But I also want to tell students that look at this YouTube clip and then give me the answer. If I want to attach a PDF, a Word document, a PPT, a video, or even an audio file for students to have reference when they are answering something, then I can simply attach it from here. Teachers need to define a correct answer for each of the questions. This is first for systems reference when it's a multiple choice select or true false question. For free response, teachers need to have something in their own reference when they're checking each student's answer. Suppose it's a very long answer that students are giving. Teachers need to have in reference what are the elements of the correct answer, or how should I be checking the correct answer, or what is the correct answer in total. So teachers need to put it for their reference here. Now, moving on to the second question, we have the file upload sort of question. The file upload question is very important for students to attempt this answer in any way comfortable they want, in which they are comfortable. Suppose this question text I have put is draw and upload an image of a labeled flower. The answer to this question will definitely be something that students attempt manually. Students attempt this by drawing something, or student put this on paper. So I want students to do it. The way for them to do and attempt this sort of question is to simply draw the image of a flower on a paper and then click a picture of it and upload. When students will be attempting these tests from their phones on our platform, when they click on attach files, when such a question comes up, they can simply click an image of what they have drawn and upload it as answer. So this is very easy and efficient for students as well. But this is only possible if teachers define it for students. So this is first of all a teacher control, and then it is passed on to students. So I will show you, for example, also how teachers can upload a handwritten image, and also a student how can they upload a handwritten image. For this question, I have uploaded something here. You can see this is a handwritten image of the diagram of a flower that I have created. I have written something and I have simply uploaded it. So students will get to see it. If I wanted a description for it, I could have also put it here. So I will move on to the next sort of question here, which is a multiple choice. Simply multiple choice question, you put a question text, you put the options here, and you define which one of this is the correct answer. If teachers want options to be in image form, then they can also upload an image from here, so that the option is both text and image, or just text or image. So this is something that teachers can also do to make sure that this question is very interactive for students. They are looking at images and they are answering their responses. So this makes it a very great way for learning for students as well. Last sample question I have here is a true false question. I have put the text here, I've defined its marks, and I have defined the answer to be either true or false. The correct answer is true. Whatever students will select will be on their dashboard, and then accordingly it will be evaluated. So just to go over all the questions that we have created, we have created free response, we have created file upload, multiple choice, as well as the true false sort of questions. Teachers can play around with these categories of questions, upload files and upload images, and make sure that their test is the way they want it to be, and also define the total marks for it. They also decide when it is actually published. Now I think it's safe to say that we have created all the questions and we have defined the correct answers. Now we will go ahead and publish this quiz and attempt it from the students dashboard. So just in a few seconds we will also be moving to the students dashboard. So I will publish it here. I have published it now. This little mark here tells me that it has been published. So now we can move on to the students dashboard. I will take you to a different tab, and we are now logging in as a student. So as a teacher, we just created the sample demo exam, and now we are waiting for students to attempt it. We are at a student's dashboard right now. We have logged in through Rohit's dashboard. Now Rohit comes to his dashboard and he sees that there is a notification here. So he will click on it and see that Amina Rahim has created an assessment. Notifications are present on both teacher as well as student dashboards. This really helps teachers and dashboards to keep up with all important activity that is happening on the real learning platform when it comes to upcoming assessments as well as assigning of new tests and exams that has happened. So I will click on this and it will take me to the new assessment that my teacher has just assigned to me. Okay, Tapasi ma'am, I think my voice is not loud enough. I will try to be as loud as possible. The other thing I would like to say is that I am recording this session. After this has ended, this demo, we will be sharing this session with you. So just to make sure that if there is something you want to go over again, you can do through this recording, but I will try to be loud enough. Thank you for pointing that out. Now, as Rohit, we have come to sample subject demo exam. We can see that this is due on 15th of June. It is time limit is 10 minutes, but we want to attempt it right now. So I will just click on start assessment, knowing that this is my only single attempt. I will not be able to take this assessment again. So I will click on start assessment. If you see, Rohit has started attempting. Now Rohit can see that there are only 9 minutes and some 50 seconds remaining. So he has to answer all his questions in just this much time. So he will look at question 1 here. If you remember, as a teacher, we get to decide if students will get to see all questions in one page by simply scrolling or by simply going on next, next, next to each of the questions. This is something that teachers can make sure for security. I will explain this, of course, in a bit more detail. But if you see, if you just pay attention, this is a great way for students to just focus on one question at one point of time, and they're making the best of their time limit here. So we are at question 1. This is a true false question. I will select my answer as true and I will move on to next. The second question is, what is the story of Macbeth really about? I know that this requires for me to type something. This requires for me to type my own opinions. So I will write something here. Anything I could be typing here, as long as I want my answer to be, I can type it here. So there is no limit such as that. So I will move on to the next question. I can see that the teacher is asking me to draw and upload the image of a labeled flower, and she has given me for something for reference here. Now I can simply draw an image immediately and upload it, or the other thing I can do is it will be on my desktop. So I can simply select any image from here. Suppose this is the one that I created, this is the one that I have drawn. So I will just be uploading this here, and it immediately gets uploaded as my answer. There was only one way for me to answer this, which was through an image, and I have uploaded it. Next and the last question that we reach is a multiple choice question, this is the text of the question here, which of the following isn't a character? I will go ahead and click on, I think this is the correct answer. So I will click on this, and I will see that as soon as I attempt each of my questions, and that means when I've put an answer, it shows me a tick mark here. Sometimes it happens that students, when they're in a hurry of attempting questions and they're simply going on next or going answering, they might not always keep a note of how many questions they are attempting. We have a tracker here that very simply tells students that these are your questions and how many you have attempted, so that you make sure you don't miss out on anything. Students have attempted all 4 questions here. Now I'll go ahead and click on submit. I will confirm my submission, so that I am not submitting it without confirming that I have attempted all questions, and I'll just click on submit. So just in a few minutes, Rohit has submitted his all his answers. He has made sure that he does not run out of time, because his timer was constantly telling him how many minutes he actually has left. So now Rohit has sent all his submissions. You can see that he cannot see his marks right now, because as a teacher, we haven't checked anything. So we will move on to the teacher's dashboard. If we come to the teacher's dashboard, for each assignment, we see that there is a way to see results here means that first you look at submissions, and then when you as a teacher release those grades, announce those grades to students, then you will be able to see their marks, total marks. But now we have not graded anything, but we can see that Rohit has submitted on at 11:40 a.m. on 8th June. He has submitted this demo exam that I just created. So I can go ahead and start attempting it, start checking it. Before we move on to seeing how teachers actually check something, let's move on. Let's recap everything that we have seen so far. I will move on to the presentation. We just created a test or a quiz. We have put so many categories of questions there. The things we saw were Right. The things we saw were how a teacher can create a test for a specific group of students or for all students. If I recall, I gave the example of how if there is a remedial test, or some students want a retest of something, then you can give that, open up to only selective students. There is the facility to add various types of questions. There is multiple choice, multiple select, true, false, free response, as well as file upload question. We saw how YouTube links can be put in. We saw how a handwritten image can be uploaded. I also explained how a PDF or a Word document can be uploaded. Teachers can add images and questions, images in question and options. So sometimes the question can be an image itself, if this is what teachers want. Teachers can define the correct answer. We have selected which option is correct, is it true or false, or things like that. We have selected that as teachers when we were creating that test. I also explained how 3 of the categories of questions, which is multiple select, true, false, multiple choice, these 3 are auto evaluated. Just in a few seconds, we will see this in action, as in how is it actually evaluated. So now we can move on to see what are the extensive evaluation and grading tools for teachers to take care of all the grading needs, and how do they actually check a student's answers. So I will move back to the platform, and now we know that Rohit has submitted something. So let's go ahead and check Rohit's copy now. I'll click on Rohit's name. Before we go on to see each of Rohit's answers, there are 2 ways in which teachers can actually check the students' answers. One is by student and one is by question. What this simply means is, if you have 4 students in your class and you select, I want to check results by question, that means I want to grade by student. That means first I will check all questions for Rohit, then I'll move on to student B and check all his questions, then I'll move on to student C and check all her questions. If I select check by question, that means I will go into question 1, whatever my question 1 was, and select and check that for student A, student B, student C, and XYZ. Move on to second question and check that for all students. This really helps the teachers maintain the context of the question, that okay, this was my question, this is what I wanted students to write. Now let's see how all students have attempted just this question. So this is also how teachers can check. Right now we are checking by student because only Rohit has sent in his submission. So we will see at all of see how all of questions of Rohit's are actually checked. You will see the first question here, which was a true false question. The correct answer was true, and this is what Rohit has actually submitted. If you look at this grade box here, it automatically shows 30 out of 30. We didn't do anything yet, but we are already seeing Rohit's marks for this question. Because true and false is auto-evaluated, we had defined correct answer, and Rohit had automatically received 30 out of 30 because he clicked on the correct answer. Second question is the file upload question. This is of course manually graded. I can see that I wanted students to upload something. This is Rohit's answer. I will go through whatever he has uploaded for me to see. This was the image. Right, this was the image that Rohit has uploaded. Just excuse me, I think my net is a bit slow. Oh, sorry. Right, so this was the image that Rohit has uploaded. I can see what he has labeled, what he has drawn. Of course, this was a demo image. Each student will be uploading his own image here. I can also download Rohit's file from here. If I want to make sure that all students who have sent in their handwritten submissions, I want to download from here, so I can do that. But now I want to grade Rohit. I have seen his image, so I want to give him 28 out of 30. I also want to give him a feedback. Feedback is something teachers can give for all students for all answers if they want to. This makes it easy for teachers to just communicate from one place itself that this is why I have reduced your marks, or this is why, this is where you can improve on your answers. So this is something students will get to see. All the repository of feedback will be present for students on their dashboard. So I will give this feedback comment to Rohit. I'll move on to the third question. This was our free response subjective question. This is what Rohit has written, that the story of Macbeth is about power and revenge. And suppose I had written that this is the correct answer, or I had put in some points for my reference when I'm checking. I will look at Rohit's answer and see that, okay, he deserves 30 marks for this. So I will do that. If I want to tell him something, then I can just put it here. And I'll just save it. So again, I have given marks, I have given feedbacks, I have looked at all of his responses. I have also downloaded files that he has uploaded. The last question I'll come to, and I don't need to check because it's a multiple choice question, is that because he gave the correct answer. This was the correct answer that he gave, and he has already received 30 out of 30. So we have just simply, just like that, checked Rohit's answers. Now I want Rohit to see his marks as well as his feedback. So I will need to publish his grades for them. Till the teacher does not click on publish grades here, students do not get to see their marks. But we want Rohit to see, so I have clicked on publish. Once you click on publish, the students will be notified that there has been a change in the assessment they submitted, and they can see their marks now. So we will see that Rohit has received a notification here. I will simply refresh my screen. Right. So if I click on notification, this was already done. I can see that my notification says that Amina Rahim updated the demo exam. If I click on it, then I will be moved to the new update that I have received, but we were already at the test screen. So now what has changed in Rohit's screen right now is, if you remember, this was showing that you cannot see your answers because it hasn't been graded yet. But now Rohit can see marks. because the teacher published the grades. So I can see that this question I have received 30 out of 30. I can see that this was the correct answer. This I have received 28 marks. This is the feedback of the teacher here. For this I have received 30. This is the feedback of the teacher, and this was the correct answer. Correct answer is visible to students only when teachers want it. Teachers can decide that students get to see the correct answer after due date, after their own submission, or after a specified date. So this is also not visible to students unless teachers want it. Last question, I will see that I have received 30 out of 30 because I clicked on the right answer. Right. So this is how Rohit can see his feedback as well as his marks. Amlesh ji, you're asking, is there any tool to mark red in incorrect word? So for this, teachers, how they can communicate any mistakes to student is only the feedback tool here. Suppose students have uploaded a document, and if you are saying teachers can annotate here, then for now teachers cannot annotate, but what teachers can do is they can give a feedback to that image, and they can pinpoint exactly where they had a problem with the student's answer, or where they want students to just improve on their answer, because this feedback is again a repository for students to keep coming back to. I will show you where students get to see all their marks and feedback at once. So I think it's easily understood then how teachers can give feedback. So this is the students' grades dashboard here. Students get to see that, okay, I'm in the middle of my term now. I can see this is how much I am scoring. This is each of my assignment. This is its due date. And these are the marks that I have scored so far, only if I have submitted it and the teacher has published my grades. This is the demo exam that I just attempted, or I attempted a few days ago or even a few weeks ago, and if the teacher has given me marks, then I can see the total marks for it, as well as the ones that I have scored. Here is where students get to see that for each assignment, how many feedback do I have. I can see that I have 1 feedback. I can see I have 2 feedback here. So this is what I meant by saying that students can always keep coming back to their feedback through their grades dashboard, so teachers can keep communicating it to them. We'll move on to the teachers dashboard and see what teachers grades dashboard looks like. Now, of course, the teacher is checking a lot of assignments at once. They have a lot of students in their class. Where will they make sure that they have proper organized information about these grades, as well as how is each student performing? How will I get to know that as a teacher? So I will click on the grades dashboard here for my demo course, and I will get to see that each title of assignment I have ever given, which is thermodynamics, classwork, reflection, demo assignment, essentials of essay writing, anything, any topic that I have given, any topic that students have submitted, all of that is collated and put in one place, where directly, just by looking at it, teachers will know students' performance and how each student is doing. I can also see overall performance from here. Like I can see that Vikram is scoring 90% so far in his term. Rohit is scoring 63%, and how each of the students are doing from here. There are a few other things that teachers can do from their grades dashboard here. It is simply not to just look at for them. The other thing they can do from here is to import an offline grade. What that means is, suppose you took a practical or a viva or an oral test offline, meaning you either took it in the lecture you are taking online or in the offline classes you take in the future, but you are also using the real learning platform, and you want to make sure that all student grades are in one place, because students also get notified of their grades and feedback from the dashboard. So it's a very automatically integrated and organized thing. So where will you put those offline grades? You will simply create a file of that, and you will import it here. By clicking on add grade, you can just simply give that title. Suppose it was a chemistry practical, then you will give its title, its total marks, and you will simply upload a file here of that of the marks of the students for whatever you conducted offline. So both your offline and online grades are in one place altogether. Apart from uploading grades from that you conducted offline, you can also download this grade book that you are seeing here. So each of the marks that you are seeing here, you can also download it for yourself. There is a download button here. Simply by clicking on it, I have received a file for it, for the grade book here. And if I want to edit anything, if I want to upload it somewhere from here, if I want to just keep it for my reference, take a printout of it, I can do that from here as well. The other thing that teachers can do here, which is a great way to manage all the assignments and courses, is to edit the categories. Now teachers will, suppose their homework carries 20% of the weightage of the whole course, exam carries 10% or 50%, and I want to decide that for myself, depending on administration rules. So teachers can also edit that from here. There are default categories, but they are always editable for the teachers, so they can do that from here as well. So we have seen the students dashboard, we have seen the teachers dashboard. We'll move on to just having a small recap of what this grades dashboard actually does. So I will take you back to our presentation. We began by saying that there are easy and extensive tools for teachers to check each student's answers. When we checked Rohit's copy, we saw that how easy it was for us to put the marks in the grade box, give him feedback, just review the auto-evaluated questions and publish his grades. It was a matter of minutes that it took for us to send Rohit his grades as well as his feedback. So just to go over some points, we offer a very holistic dashboard for teachers to manage the grades. Results of all the tests and exams are collated in one place and they can be downloaded, which we just saw a few seconds ago. Teachers can choose to see the results in points, percentage, or grades. Suppose there are classes. For different classes, if there is a different display of marks, suppose for primary classes there are only letter grades, which is A plus, A minus, then you can choose to only convert your grades in that format. For higher classes, if it's percentage, then you can choose to display your grades in that format as well. So teachers have the ability to do that. Teachers can choose to see the results in points or grades. This I've covered. And they can also assign different weightage. I already showed you how teachers can edit the categories, decide what is the weightage of my homework, my exam, my revision test, everything teachers can put from there. Teachers can evaluate the exam both student and question wise. They can go from Rohit to Vikram to student C, student T, and check their copies, or they can go from question 1, question 2, question 3 and check the student's copy for each of the questions. The last thing we saw here was that teachers can give detailed feedback to each student. For each answer, even teachers can give feedback. So this makes grading very easy. This makes giving feedback and making sure that students are improving constantly very easy from our platform itself. Moving on, we have seen how a test or an exam formats work, where I'm giving questions to students and students are answering it. But there are many other formats that teachers can use to give assignments, which are group projects, quiz, classwork, holiday homework, discussion boards, offline submissions, and exams. Exams and quiz is something that we saw. If I have to give you an example of the other formats that teachers can make use of, then let's just take discussion board for an example. I will show you how this is created, but just to give an example of how it can be used and what can be the purpose of it, then for example, you discussed a chapter on say chemical bonding or some other mathematical formula. You conducted a lecture on it. Now you want to see how much do my students actually understand from the lecture that I have just taught them. So you will open up a discussion board where you will see students talking to one another, and then you can also assess that, okay, this is what my students understand, this is what they don't understand, and you can then give them marks also based on their participation. Offline assignments, offline submissions, how you can simply make sure you do this is that you want students to you want to take something offline for students. Suppose you want to grade something in the lecture. During the lecture you will take a quiz for them, and that is not online, but you want its marks in one place on your online real learning dashboard. So you can simply just put in the marks here. Students need not do anything online, but their marks will still be on their real learning platform. So this is what teachers can do. So let's move on and see how this is actually created. So I'll move on to the dashboard now, the teacher's dashboard. There are a few questions here. Shashi Kumar is asking how to check subjective questions, and Santosh ji is asking from students' point if we can skip some question generally. Can we come back to the previous question? Yes, there is a way to check the subjective questions for when we were checking Rohit's copy and we were checking his Macbeth answer. You can simply read his answer and give him marks accordingly. When students are attempting an answer, if they are within the time limit, they can go back to a question, to an answer. But if they have submitted it or the due date has passed, there is no way to edit your answer as a student. So teachers can make sure that happens. Right. So what we are going to look at now is how a teacher can create it apart from the test and the quiz format, what all assessments they can create. I have some sample assessments already created here. I will open everything one by one and show you how you can make learning more communicative, interactive for students, as well as how you can just integrate offline assignments. Just give me a second to open all of these. So what we have in front of us right now is an offline submission format or a no file submission format that teachers can give. The example that I was giving was you want to conduct something offline for students or something that doesn't require students to do anything online. Then how will you grade students? We have this format to make that possible. The criteria for the grading here is I have put that grades for this will be decided on your participation in class. It could have been anything. It could have been an oral test. It could have been a practical. Anything that I'm conducting offline or not necessarily online, then I can simply just give a title here, decide its mark, decide its instructions, and simply put in the grades. Nothing else is required. Suppose I have taken this assignment and I know that Vikram received 48 marks or that Rohit received 32 marks, then I will just put that here. So I can do that if I want one by one. Suppose I have already created a file of that test that I created and I don't want to go one by one and put it here as well. Then I can simply import that file. So I can import the grade from here. That means put that file here and the marks will reflect as I have put in the file. If I want to give them feedback, then the same way we gave Rohit feedback for his demo exam, we will give the feedback to the students from here. So this is one way in which teachers can use the no file submission format. The one way of doing that is using and integrating offline submissions. The next one we'll move on to how a discussion board is actually used. Discussion board, I just briefly explained that teachers want to see how students are talking to one another and discussing a concept or a chapter, and they want to see how students actually understand what they are taught in class. So I will.
Sorry to interrupt. There are some questions as well on the chat board that we can address before discussing discussion board in detail.
Right. So my chat box is not visible. Akhil, right now it's not showing up, right? Because I wanted the questions to be visible as well, but I will read out the questions. What are the anti-cheating measures? Mr. Dave, you are asking. We will come to that. There are a lot of security measures that teachers can take. The second question is there any measure to prevent students from cheating? Again, we are coming to it in just a short while. Sujay Mishra is asking, is it compulsory to type every question or we can download or scan images? Right, sure. So there is an option for teachers to upload any file as question itself. So teachers can do that. Teachers can also copy paste the text from somewhere. Let me just show that to you in a little bit more detail how teachers can copy paste the text. Suppose there is a mathematical formula or you're taking a Hindi test or a French test and you just want to give a text in a vernacular language, then you can just simply copy paste that text if you want to. If you want to upload a Word document as a question or an image as a question, then that is also possible. Right. What I was talking about how teachers can copy paste the text, I will just open up my just my note tab here, and I will just, if you can see at my right side of my screen, there is a formula here. So I will just copy it. You could take this formula, suppose you have a soft copy of a document or you have copy pasted it from Google, then you can just copy paste and put that here. I'm just showing to you in a dialog box here, but when we created the test for Rohit and when we were typing the question, the same manner you type the question, you can paste the text. So this the copy paste option works throughout the platform when you're creating. Hello. Sorry. I think your voice got cut. You were trying to say something. Hello. Okay. Um, you can also type in the chat box if you're having network issues, audio issues, then you can please type whatever you wanted to say in the chat box. I will take that up. So we were at a discussion board format right now where students can discuss the concepts or a chapter amongst themselves. What students can do is definitely type in something they want to say to the teacher. This could be individual also, meaning only teachers and one student is discussing amongst themselves. Teachers can make groups of students and then let them discuss something, or teachers can just have it one-on-one. So this is a great way to make sure that if teachers want it to be one-on-one, that can happen. If teachers want it to be group-based, then also that can happen. We can see that Rohit has given us something here. So let's see what it actually is. Rohit has recorded an audio clip for to participate in the conversation and the discussion, and he has asked me, the teacher, to check that out. So I will look at that. What this simply means is that if the students want to, in a discussion as well, they want to upload files, they want to send in a video, they want to share a YouTube clip or a recording of themselves, then they can send it from here. The other way a discussion board can be used with this recording feature that we have is, say, suppose you want to take a listening and speaking test for students and you want them to read out a chapter in their own voice. So students will come online, simply click on this record button and they will record something in their voice. I will play this a few seconds of the recording here that Rohit has sent us. An essay is a piece of writing that is written to convince someone of something or to simply inform the reader about a particular topic. Right. So if you heard it, this simply means that Rohit recorded something on his Real Learning dashboard and he has uploaded this here. I can listen to it as a teacher. I want to grade him on the basis of the recording he has sent to me, or he has wanted to ask something very important in his voice, then also he can send that to me. I can again download this file from here. I will just go back to our discussion board. I will take a second to see our chat box. What will be the maximum size of the file which is to be uploaded by the student? There is no file limit as such on our platform right now. Students can upload the files as they want to. Teachers can also decide the format. Teachers can decide the format of the file for the students as well if they want to, but there is no limit right now. It completely depends on what the student wants to send, and also of course how much network they have to send it and upload it as well. So I think this was the last question on the chat. Please keep sending in your questions. I will, whenever I get a second, I will be looking at them and then answering in detail. Coming back to our discussion board, we saw how Rohit sent us an audio clip. We saw how I, as a teacher, replied to it. I told him, well done. What do you think about the structure of an essay? So you can see that this is an actual discussion happening between the student and the teacher. I want to grade Rohit because, based on his participation on the discussion board. So I can do that as well. Moving on to the next format that we have here, which is the group project. It simply works in how it will work in an offline format. I have clubbed some students together. I have given them instructions that create a presentation on how you write an essay, or write an essay together and send it to me. So I can make sure that two students are together. Suppose I want Rohit and Vikram to be a part of a group. So I have as a teacher clubbed them together, and then they will be sending me their submissions, and simply I will look at it from here. I can also download it. So teachers can always download the students' responses. This is something that I can take a minute to explain. Even when the student Rohit was sending in his answers for the test, then also I could have downloaded it. The students are sending me Word documents, or say large files of video and audio, then also I can download it. I can simply have all of that for my reference in my local computer, local system, or I can of course always access it through my real learning platform. So I can do that as well. From here I can give them feedback. So however many groups I have created, each student's response I will see, each group I will give feedback, and each group I will give answer, give marks to. So Prakash, you're asking supported file type and size. So PDF, Word documents, the size, there is no size limit for students. There is no restriction. It could be a JPEG, it could be a PNG image, it could be a PDF or a Word document, it could be a video in an MP3, MP4 format. Students can upload it. The recording, if they want to do of audio by themselves on the platform itself and do not want to use a foreign application, then they can also record how we did for Rohit. They can simply record their audio from this thing here. Students also get to see it. I, as a teacher, if I also want to reply by recording my voice, then I can do that from here as well. The next format we are looking at is the file submission format of assignment. How teachers can use file submission is simply, suppose you want students to submit a homework. You do not want them to answer a question on the platform itself, but you want them to write something. You want them to actually write a handwritten essay, or you want them to type a Microsoft Word essay, or you want them to create a PPT of their own on anything that you want the students to. Then students will receive the information that this is what I have to do. This is how I have to create the file. This is what my teacher wants. I will do it and I will upload it from here. So individually, each student's homework or presentation or Word document, teachers will get to see, and they can simply grade them from here. The same way we have been grading and giving feedback and downloading each student's responses, I can do that from here. So we saw the 4 or 5 formats of, apart from test and quiz, what a teacher can give out to students: group discussions, group projects, discussion boards, offline submission, as well as a homework online submission, a holiday homework if you want to give to students. Everything can be made possible simply by just creating it and giving it out to students, and then grading them and giving them feedback from one place altogether. Give me a second, please. I'm moving on to the chat. How many candidates will be expected to take the assessment at the same time? However many students are attempting from their homes, from their devices, the assessment at the same time, there is no limit to how many of them are actually attempting. Students can do that at their own pace within the given time frame. There is no cap that we have decided that at this point of time only so many students can attempt it, however many want to. Where will download files get stored? Cloud storage or PC? They are getting stored in PC. Can we see group project without downloading? Yes, you can simply click on the file. I will show you. This was a group project here. I can see it, just click from it here. I can see that this was the file the group sent to me. I can give them grade, I can give them feedback, and if I want to, I can download it. So you can also see it from your file. You need not always download something. There were some more questions. I will see that. How to transfer or upload online test score in result software. If you remember, Mr. Shashi, we downloaded the grade book from the teacher's dashboard. It got stored locally on my PC, and I can, if I have a result software, I can go there and I can upload the file from my dashboard here. So that is just simply downloading and uploading. Is there any mechanism to check whether students have copied their answers from the internet? What teachers can do is, of course, if they're using some software where they screen the students' answers, then they can do that from here. But right now, what teachers can do is simply use a few other integrations if they wish to. When it comes to checking plagiarism and everything, they can do that from here, because teachers have access to what the students have written. If they have copied from somewhere, and you just simply go on any online screening platform for copied answers, then it will simply tell you if the student has plagiarized. So teachers can do that. Teachers can use that in a few ways. I think that was it for the chat answers. Right, because everyone was asking a lot about what are the security features and how we can make sure that cheating is not happening. I think we can take some moments to actually discuss that. So I will move on to the security measures now. Please keep giving your questions in the chat box, and I'll keep picking that up. So we have seen how other formats of assessments are made. We are now looking at how exams, tests, assessments are conducted securely. So some features that we have are unique passwords, time-bound tests, browser lock, question sequence randomization, and how to help curb cheating. We will now see in a little bit more time, but these were all the features that teachers can actually use. How these work is simply, if we switch back to our platform right now and see how all of these things, when teachers decide that and how teachers decide that, I will click on the creation box here. So when teachers are creating a test, this is the dialog box that will open up. So suppose I want to say this is any quiz title I've given. Now let's move on to seeing what all boundaries teachers can define. I want to have a time limit of 30 minutes, so I will just put that here. We saw that Rohit was on a timer when he was attempting the test. So whatever time I put is the time limit that Rohit will get, or all of my students will get. The other way to make sure that cheating is not happening and students cannot discuss amongst one another the question number and then the answer is the way to randomize the question order. So suppose if I click on question order as random, then that would mean, suppose my quiz has 10 questions or 20 questions and I have randomized it, then all those 20 questions get jumbled up, meaning Rohit gets to see a different numbering of questions, Vikram gets to see a different numbering of questions, and each student will get to see the question numbers in a different sequence. So they are not talking to one another and then discussing, okay, tell me what is the answer of question number 5, because question number 5 is now different for each of them. Now the next security feature that teachers can use is the answer order randomization. Where teachers can use answer order randomization is that I have a multiple choice question which has 6 options or 4 options. Then if I randomize it, then the order of the options get jumbled and each student gets to see the options in a different sequence. The other thing that teachers can make sure, which when we were creating the test, we saw how teachers define the available date as well as the due date. So if I put a very strict due date and submission deadline, then students cannot access or answer their questions after their deadline. The other option that teachers have is to show only one question per page, which is what was the view for Rohit when we were answering his questions. So now imagine a test where it is for 20 minutes. All my 10 questions are jumbled up. All my MCQ questions are jumbled up, and I can only see one question in one page, which all these things are defined by my teacher. I have very little time to call someone up and discuss with them what is the answer for this number of question, or go back to a question and discuss that, because my time is running up. As soon as my time is up, my quiz gets automatically submitted. So I have no time to waste, and I have very little chances of copying and cheating when it comes to these very strict things that teachers actually define. The other thing that teachers can do is put a passcode for their test or exam, which is simply an access code. If the student doesn't have this password, they cannot start attempting it. So this is something that teachers can do. The other thing, the other feature that we have coming up is a browser lock feature, which simply means that as a student, if I am answering my questions and I am on study.reallearning.in, my teacher has put this test with browser lock defined, then I cannot go on to another tab online and look for my answer. This is another way that teachers can make sure that plagiarism doesn't happen, students are not copying from online answers, is that they have frozen the tab for the student. They can only stay on study.reallearning.in. If they try to move, the system will tell them that your test will get automatically submitted if you move from this tab. So these are other ways that teachers can make sure that students are not copying from online or even copying or discussing amongst themselves if they define these things very strictly. So I will just click on cancel here. We will move on to just recap all our security features that we have discussed so far. There are time-bound exams and tests, which means there's a fixed duration, there is a timer going on. There's a start and end date, meaning there is a deadline. There is a passcode that I can put and give it to only selective students or to all students, and make sure only those people who have the password are coming in and attempting. There is the browser lock feature, which disables students to move out of the exam without submitting from that tab they are on. The randomizing of the order of questions to reduce the possibility of copying, and the ability to show only one question per page. I will take questions now before we move on to other features. Is it possible to go for the query online for written answers by the students? Dharmesh, if you could just elaborate on your question a little bit more, I can answer this. Is there any option to stop taking screenshot? For now, there is no option such as that. But anyway, if students are taking the time in the question in a very timed manner, in a very time bound manner, so they have very little time to just take a screenshot and move on from their tab. Especially with browser lock, it becomes very difficult for them to move out of the tab and then share that screenshot and henceforth. Ma'am, there is a contradiction. Sometime earlier you answered my question that student can go back to the question if time remains. Then the student will simply scroll or all question in few minutes, and then they have all questions with them. And you know how smart our students are. Yes, so just to elaborate on that feature, Mr. Santosh, I said that students can go back to answer their questions only if the time their time is not up, and only if the deadline has not passed. Then only students can go and check change their answers. If suppose their 10 or 20 minutes are up, then they cannot do it. If their deadline is up, they cannot change their answers. And if you have put only one question per page, then the scrolling option is not there at all. So this is something that teachers have to decide. If you remember, I just showed how teachers can tick on that box that said show only one question per page, then the scrolling option will not be there. Mr. Dev is asking, if browser is locked, then can another browser be opened? The thing is, if students move out of that screen altogether, they are given that confirmation dialog box. So I hope, just to make myself clear, if they use another mobile to search answer, on our platform itself, we try to do everything to make sure that students, at least when they are on Real Learning and attempting assessments, they have very minimum chance to actually copy and then do all of these illicit activities. But if they're using some other devices, then that is something that at least from the platform we cannot control, but very strict instructions can be given to teachers, students by their teachers. The parents also try to help their child in answering the questions online. They sit beside their child undertaking a test. Again, this is something that I think this is something that should be communicated to teachers and to students and parents very strictly. And how to assess subjective answers of a group of 20 students. So how you can do this, Mr. Sanjay, is that if you remember, actually I will just go back to the evaluation screen to show you how this can be made possible and how this can be easier on the teacher to save their energy when they're checking really subjective and long answers. So I will go back to this demo exam here. and I will show you, if you remember, I showed you results by question. What results by questions will do is, suppose your question 1 was a very lengthy essay. For each student, you had given, say, give me an answer of 1000 words or 500 words, something like that. There is a very long answer. So you can check all of their answers question wise, which means Rohit and Vikram and each student, 20 students if you have, all of them have given a subjective long answer. You can just check all of their subjective answers one by one for that particular question itself. So you do not have to go for each student's or go all through the 10 questions and each may then check a subjective answer, move on to another student, and then each may check their subjective answer. If you want to save your energy and check all the subjective answers at once, you may select this results by question of answer. This makes it very easy to retain the context as well. I'll look at other questions now. Sometimes parents help students how to stop at the time of test. The thing is, if in their homes in an offline format, if parents are helping students, then that is something that should be very strictly, I think that is something that should be communicated to parents. That is something that is on the discretion of the administration and on the teachers itself. But if you have timed these things, if you've timed the tests, and if you have given them very strict boundaries to attempt something, then at least from your end, on the system's end, the teachers have made sure that students have very little chance to do so. Singh, Mr. Singh, you want to speak? I think yes, you can go ahead and ask a doubt if you have.
I don't have any doubt, sorry.
Okay, sorry, yes. Yeah. Sorry, someone has written, can I speak? So I just, we can take a second to take a doubt if you have. Otherwise, we will move on. And maybe if later.
It had matter. I have to say, I think this workshop would have been much better if we would have conducted school-wise for the teachers.
Okay.
I think so, because the whole matter which is dealt is with the teachers how to do the assessment. And I can think that my teachers have so many queries. They are again and again asking questions, which is a very good sign. They have been very good listener.
Yes,
So
I think that's a.
I think you people should arrange it school-wise. It will be better. And for assessment, it is really very problem for us. I'll just share. We are conducting online interviews for 11th class. And one student, he made his 4 friends sit next to him so that they could give him the answers. But thanks to the teacher, and he could smell that more children are there. He said sorry, and then did not continue the interview with that child. But for assessment, one by one checking is a very long process. There has to be some other system. Either the answers are locked once the children have answered, and only the teacher can open and go for checking. It's not possible that all children are waiting and the teacher is checking one by one. I think there has to be some alternate system.
So if I'm not wrong, you're asking if there's say a live test that teachers want to take, a practical or some sort of review, then how teachers can do it?
But even they have subjective questions also.
Right.
You have suggested to check one by one. It is not possible when online classes or online tests are going on, the teacher would check one by one. There has to be some other alternative system.
Sure. No, so what we have kept in mind is that suppose when teachers actually, even in an offline pen paper evaluation format, they have taken a test or an exam which consists of a subjective answer, then also teachers would be checking all the copies later after the time limit has ended up. And
sorry, I'll intervene here.
Yeah, sure.
So ma'am, to be clear, you're saying that it is very difficult to check or monitor students one by one in the online examination, right? To monitor the students online one by one online is a difficult task, is it? Or it is checking of the examination paper?
It is checking of the subjective questions.
Checking of the subjective questions.
Yes.
So yes, ma'am, as Amina was saying that in the offline scenario also we were checking those papers one by one. Here you would get everything assembled at one place, and totaling will be automated, and maintaining records will also be automated. But the marks finally will be given by the teachers. So it would be replication of what was happening in the schools. The same thing can happen in the online format, but you would still save time in the totaling of marks, or earlier when you were checking pen and paper examination, you were recording those marks in an Excel sheet. So both of those processes are automated here.
Right, and also I would like to add to Akhil's point, ma'am. If you are saying that there is a live review that you are conducting, say for higher ed students, then I will show you a bulletin format of. I'm sorry, there is an audio disturbance. I will just mute. Right. So, Singh ma'am, what I was saying was, suppose you have a review that you need to take for students, and you need to make sure that they are the only ones present in that review, and you want to have it one on one. If you want to have that review one by one, I will be showing you a forum we have, which is a bulletin format, where teachers can conduct live conferences with students. This means they can talk to the students if they want to. In this format, they can go ahead and simply just start a YouTube live, or they can just start a video conferencing with the students, and make sure that they know that it is a conferencing format. You will be assessing them online, and then you can be putting in their grades or simultaneously. So we saw how putting in the grades for students was just a matter of just putting in the digits. So teachers can do that. They can assess the students if you want a live review happening in that format. But as Akhil said, subjective answers, that is something that you can check. If you think it's one by one, it's difficult, then I would tell you that when teachers are actually checking subjective answers, by retaining their context, meaning they know what the question is about, and they're only checking it one by one and giving the feedback all together and just simply entering in the grade, then it becomes very efficient for teachers to maintain everything in one place. So everything is happening in an integrated format. Right. If I can move on, Singh ma'am, if that answers your questions. If you have more doubts, then please do feel free to tell that to us.
Okay, go ahead and please sum up now.
Okay, sure. Then I think whatever is coming up on the chat, I think I can take it at the end of the session. There are a few things that I wanted to discuss as well. So I will go on over those features.
Hello.
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 Yes, Mr. Ravi, yes.
No, this is HK Jha, Principal Devi Rajrappa.
Ji. Yes, please go ahead.
Madam, it was a very extensive discussion on the device that you have presented 1.5 hours. But only few teachers, the teachers, 2-3 teachers from each school has represented the school. And this will not solve our problem. This is because majority of our teachers have a completely new experiences of using technology. So Madam has rightly pointed out that school specific training, it will be conducted, it will be very useful. Because whatever you have demonstrated or explained, maybe not recollected for a very long time.
So, right. Thank you, sir.
It's frequent brushing. Hello.
Yes, I'm listening. Please go ahead. Yeah.
Yes. So we want a school-specific training for that, so that all the teachers may be reoriented to adapt to the new technology or new methodology of online assessment, learning, teaching.
Right. Thank you so much for pointing that out. And I think that's a very good point. What I would like to say is that if you want further sessions after this one, we can arrange
Yes.
for that if you want with smaller group of people. The other
Yes.
thing that is something that I said in the beginning of the session, that I'm recording this session. So everything that I have said
Yes,
and
please.
shown
Please
will
share.
be shared.
Please share. Otherwise, it will be rituals that yes, we conducted a session.
Right,
I
right.
think it is going to have a very good impact on changing the methodology.
Sure.
So unless we'll have a very extensive, intensive program for the teachers, all teachers, because we cannot do with 1, 2, 3, 4 teachers, or all teachers, because online assessment and teaching will be the order of the day now. It is not an just the option; it is a necessity now in the future.
Right,
So we
right.
want to train. So please think of it. Our
Sure, sure.
request.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. So, as I told Mr. Himanshu, that we will be sharing this recording, and if there are more sessions
Yes,
that require to be conducted, then the Real Learning team, will be happy to take that
yes.
up. So, the other
Just
thing,
I quote the sentiment of our madam, Urmila madam, regional officer. She
yes,
also wants the same thing.
yes,
So
sure, sure.
please at
We're
least
happy
do
to.
something for us.
Right. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay,
Yes.
okay.
Yes. Okay. Thank you. So just moving on, I think we have just a few more features left. I will go through all of them just quickly. I'll brush over them, and then we can have the finishing Q&A session. The other things that I want to tell that are part of the platform is a bulletin forum we have, where generally teachers and students of a class are talking to one another. They are sharing important updates. They are sharing important audio clips if they want to, some videos if they have, some important documents they have, they can be sharing that. Teachers can also conduct a conference from here. This is what I wanted to talk about, Urmila ma'am. If you see that there is a conference option for teachers to conduct a live review or even a live conference, it could be a lecture as well, if that is what teachers want. There are a few applications that have been integrated that can be used. It's Hangout on Air, YouTube Live, and Zoom if teachers want to use that. How we are in a meeting right now, teachers can do that with students, but they can do that from here itself, making sure that students are the ones joining in this conference only through their Real Learning dashboard, so they are not sharing the links and everything. If teachers want to grade the attendance of this conference or lecture that they are conducting, then they have an option to grade that attendance as well, and students will be accountable for their participation and their attendance. And suppose teachers conduct a YouTube live, and they stream a session where they're discussing a concept or they're discussing a chapter. Once they have ended this streaming, the recording of that streaming automatically appears on this bulletin here for teachers. So if some students have genuinely missed the session and they want to revisit that streaming clip, then they can do that from here. So these are one of the many options that teachers can make use of. The other things that teachers have on their dashboard when it comes to sharing materials with students, and just making sure that all the documents that are important for that course are shared to students from one place and creates a repository for students, then we have documents dashboard here for each of the class. That means that if I have to share a PDF or a folder of documents or an image to students that is important for that particular subject, then I can upload it from here. Simply just click on add and upload something from my own PC. Then I can, if I make it public, it will be shared to students. If I keep it private, it will be only visible to me. And I can also make sure that these are scheduled posts, meaning I upload something right now and I only want it to be visible on Thursday, then I can also schedule it in that manner. I can disable download of that file, meaning students only have access to the folders or documents that I have uploaded through the Real Learning platform. Then I can also make sure that they don't download it. Lastly, we have some other features which makes it very easy for teachers and students to keep up to date with notifications and upcoming due dates and assignments. We have a calendar for teachers and students, which lists out each of their important upcoming academic events, which are due dates, if there is a test, if there is a submission. All of that is automatically collated and integrated on the calendar so that they can keep a track of their due dates. Notifications helps teachers and students to make sure that every new activity that is happening, they can keep in touch with it. They also get email notifications. Those are automatically integrated for teachers and students. So I think we've come to the end of the demo, where I wanted to show how teachers conduct assessments, different formats of assessments, how they check the answers, how they see the grades, and also what are the security measures that teachers can take. If there are a few more questions, and I think you can also unmute yourself now. If I have to, I'll just go over through everything again. So we can go over the features that we saw at the very end. We saw that teachers can manage important course materials and documents and share that with students. Teachers and students can interact through the bulletin board and share important updates and even participate in live conferences. They can use various applications such as YouTube or Hangout or Zoom to make sure that they are conducting lectures, also even live reviews. Lastly, we have features such as calendar and email notifications that help both teachers and students stay up to date with all the important information. So we are at the end of our demo right now. I will be taking up the questions on the chat box, but you can also unmute yourself and ask me. Right, the question that we have is, if browser lock is not clear, the tab can be opened and searching can be done. No, Mr. Santosh, what I meant to say was, if the student is on study.yourlearning.in, that is the only tab that they can open, and if they want to move on to anything else on the online platform, they cannot do it. Is it possible to use the front camera of the device to observe the students while in test? Right now, all the security and proctoring features that we have is what I've explained so far. Surely, if we'll be coming up with updates, and if there are some other additions, we'll absolutely keep everyone in the loop for that. Yes, Mr. Deepak, I will be sharing the recording. We will keep that in mind. Yes, is it possible to download the recording? Is it possible to download the recording? Suppose if it's a YouTube recording of the lecture that is there, then if there is a software or a tool that teachers and students have to download that recording, then they can do that as well. If it's Zoom that you are using, and through your Zoom account, you can actually record and keep that recording for yourself and then upload it somewhere else. So that feature is specific to the tools that you're using, how you can actually download those. So that depends on the applications that you will be using. Mr. Alok, you're asking, can e-lesson plans be uploaded by the teachers so that authorities will be able to view it? You're asking if there is an admin for an institute, and teachers can send them their lesson plans and they can get that approved. What teachers can do from their dashboards here is that all admins will be able to get in touch with the teachers, because there is a way to mail the teachers and the students from one platform all together. So what teachers can do is that they can mail the admin their email, their course syllabus or lesson plan from there on, and they can share the documents if they want to. If the admin is part of the courses of the teachers, then they can do that as well. Other questions?
Hello. Is it audible?
Yes.
Madam, what will be the structure of this classes? It will be the teacher's side, or it will be the, if I want to, if I'm a class teacher of 11th.
Yes.
And I want to add few more teachers to take classes. So if I am taking the accountancy class, other teachers can also go with my platform, or they will go with a different platform. So what will the structure?
Okay. Sure. Thank you for that question. So each teacher and each student will be getting individual login IDs and login accounts. But if two teachers share a class, so then that class will be assigned to both of them, and they can, from their own platforms, from their own accounts, they will be able to take the classes and give them assignments, and that they don't have to share one login. Hello. Mr. Sanjay, did that answer your question? Hello.
Hello.
Yes, Mr. Ajit. Yes.
Ma'am, I want to ask, is there any system in this particular platform that suppose during teaching, students start chatting with each other and some unwanted things they post, then we do in that case? Is there any system to control that?
So you're asking on the bulletin that I showed if teachers can restrict students from chatting with one another?
Yes, ma'am.
Right. So on the bulletin board, what teachers
During
can
teaching
do?
learning process, if they start chatting with each other.
So if there is a live conference and students talk to one another, that's the thing you're asking, right?
Okay.
Right. So that will depend on what chat restriction features the conferencing application has. So they can make sure that they discipline students when it comes to chatting through those applications. But on the bulletin on Real Learning platform, the forum that teachers and students have, we have kept it
the
open.
question is about the live classes. So, sir, yes, there are two ways in which teachers can conduct classes. One is via YouTube or via Zoom. So Zoom is the way in which we are doing. So teachers have the ability to mute all the students and restrict students from chatting in between the class. And when we talk about conducting classes from YouTube Live, both the options are there with the teachers. When they use YouTube Live to conduct the classes, then there is only one-way communication that teachers are doing to the students, and there is no two-way communication. So teachers have the way to restrict students chattering, but and then they can use various tools to do that. If they want to allow students to ask questions in between and open their cameras, they can let students do that from Zoom itself. Does that answer the question, sir?
Yes, yes. Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, we can move on to other questions. I think there was one in chat. Ms. Sanisha, you're asking, can we identify the phone number through which the students are logging in? So of course, the phone number or the ID that the students are logging in, it would be only be one of those things. Either students log in with their email ID, or if they do not have one, that they will be using what the administrator of the institute has assigned to them. But whatever they're using to log in, the administrator of the institute will be able to identify, and that is the information that they have. So you can identify it. Tanisha, does that answer your question? Please do unmute yourself, and then you can also ask questions in that manner, or you can just keep typing on the chat.
There are a few questions on the chat.
Yeah, can we publish overall results of a class in a single sheet? In a single sheet, what you can do is, right now the downloading of the sheet is course specific, as in that is only for one subject that you can download the sheet. But if you download the sheets together, they can be collated.
Hello.
All together. Yes.
Hello, ma'am.
Yes, Mr. Arvind. Yes.
Yeah. Arvind sir is speaking, ma'am.
Yes.
Actually, I joined little late, ma'am. So okay. Can you brief the beginning of the class, your session, kindly, please?
Right, Mr. Arvind, what I discussed in the beginning was how teachers can create tests and assessments, how they put in questions, what are the category of questions and the image upload and file upload options that they have. Those are things I can actually go through the slide where we recapped all the points for the beginning, so that you can actually just have an idea of what we have discussed. But I'd like to point out that I have recorded this session. So if anyone has joined late, they will be able to see the session from the beginning through the recording. So I think that will be really helpful to you, Mr. Arvind. So some things that we discussed in the beginning was how teachers can create a test for all or selective students, how they can add various types of questions, various categories of questions, how they can add images and files in the questions, and how they can define the correct answers. Because there are three categories of questions, which are multiple choice, multiple select, and true false questions, which always have only one correct answer. So these will be auto evaluated by the system, meaning teachers will only have to manually grade subjective answers or file upload form of questions, where students are sending in their handwritten answer images, or they're sending in Word documents. Only those will be have to manually graded by the teacher. These are the some things that we discussed. Mr. Arvind, did you see how we were checking the students' copy?
No, ma'am. Can you please tell me how your recorded things can be again listened and understand?
Sure. So the thing is, we will be sharing this recording with the schools who are participants of this call right now. So you will receive this recording on your mail. Yes. If you, I will actually put in my email. I'll just write in my email in the chat. So if there is specifically something
give
that
your
you
email,
want,
ma'am.
yes. I'll just please everyone do keep reference my email that I'm putting in. You can contact me directly if there is something you want to see. It is I've put it in the chat. It's simply amina@reallearning.in. It's AAMINA@reallearning.in. You can also yes,
ma'am.
Yes,
ma'am, can you please repeat it once again, your email ID?
Yes, Mr. Arvind, you can see in the chat. I have written it. It's
chat.
Yeah, it's AAMINA@reallearning.in. Yes, I hope that is helpful to you. We will also be sending you the recording, and everything that I have covered will be shared with you. If there are specific questions, then please feel free to mail me also. We will take that up. I hope that is helpful, Mr. Arvind. We can move on to another questions. If you have other questions, all the participants.
Tomo, chat box किधर है इसमें?
I am just writing my mail on my screen right now. If you can see, if finding it in the chat is a bit difficult, then you can see that it's amina@reallearning.in if you want to note it down. Right. Are there any other questions and clarifications required? Please do. You can just ask me. Right now we're at the end of the session, so if there's something specific, we can definitely go over that. Urmila ma'am, is there something that you would like me to go over again?
No, it's fine. It was nice, but it was too lengthy. I think it needs to be dealt with the teachers because it concerns them.
Sure, yes.
And that is why they have been putting so many questions. And I was also learning, this was learning for me also. But you see, when we have online examinations worldwide, centers are fixed. When we are organizing for our DAV, CAE also we are organizing Olympiad, even NEET and other things, whatever is being organized online, always centers are fixed. So there is no question of cheating or unfair means at that time. But this is a big problem for us. This teaching problem, what teachers have been discussing, it's a big problem because parents are there, their elder brothers and sisters are there. So we are facing this problem. We have to have some foolproof assessment system.
Right.
Where there has to be some time limit that after this time, this question will vanish. It will come to the teacher, but it will not be with the student. It will not be visible to him.
Right.
It should be something like that.
No,
because most of the questions are objective. Yes, no, true, false. Anna, what is the correct one? Most of the questions we are having like that. And if we are giving to write something, a line or so, then we will just enhance the time. So come out with such type, and otherwise it was a nice one, nice for engagement for our summer vacation. Thank you to all of you.
Thank you, Urmila ma'am, and I think it's a really good feedback that you have.
There is a suggestion for you. There is a suggestion for you.
Yes.
I think you have to be more bold, Anna, and voice modulation, and you need pause. You were very fast.
Okay. Thank you.
I gave you suggestion in the beginning also, Anna. Then it carries more weight also.
Right. Okay,
you had good material. You had good material. Material was sufficient, Anna. So it has to be more impact.
Sure. Thank you. I think that is. I will. That is great.
Next, I think we will have that change. Okay.
Yes. Also, we are. I'm sorry, I didn't get you.
And I also thank all my principal colleagues and the warriors who, in spite of their break, made it here to learn something more. Learning takes place anytime, everywhere, every time. Thank you all. Thank you all.
Yes, truly, thank you everyone for participating.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Yes, thank you, everyone. We will be sharing the recordings with you. So I think it is great to go over these things again. If you want future sessions, we'll love to just take more sessions with all the teachers. And again, thank you so much for participating. I realize it was a long session. It was quite detailed, but thank you so much for all your feedback, Urmila ma'am, and for everyone to participate. Thank you so much. Okay, is it okay to pause here? Hello. All right, thank you everyone. I think we will be concluding the meeting now. Thank you. Please have a nice day.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. It was really very nice.
Thank you.